Welcome to Warrior Wisdom Profiles of Success. Today we're talking with Larry Swafford, who's been with CEO Warrior for some time. He's got over 30 years of experience in the industry, started off on a truck, worked with a lot of competitors in the industry, and had come on board with CEO Warrior. So Larry, it's great to have you.
Well, it's wonderful to be here.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it.
Okay.
Overall, why are you doing what you're doing? I mean, you've got lots of choice. I mean, you got 30 years of experience,
Right.
work with some industry theoretical leaders, but here you are with CEO Warrior. Why are you doing what you're doing now?
Now I love to help people, so that's one. But just working with Mike and Rob and CEO Warrior and their clients, it's just unbelievable. This is a great job, probably one of the best jobs that I've ever had. And the reason for that is, we got really good ownership and we got really good clients. So that makes a great combination.
Now, speaking of great clients, what do you do for clients? What is your role as a master advisor? I mean, that's a big role in this company.
Yeah.
Right? So what is your role and what do you look most forward to in that role?
Okay, so what we do as a master advisor is we coach people in their businesses, right? So it could be anywhere from a financial side of the business, numbers wise, or all the way down to an employee that they had that could be having some type of trouble, right? So what's great is I get to wake up every morning, right? And then my day starts by talking with a new client, I say. And I get to find out their whole background and what their needs are, and then I supply a solution for it. So how great is that?
So you get to help coach them. You get
Yes.
to help them get to the next level. You help to get them unstuck, to connect dots and, like, I guess, see like the blind spots, if you will.
Absolutely.
Now, why are you uniquely qualified to do this versus any number of other companies or people out there?
I've been in a truck, so I was a tech, an installer, things like that. I graduated from that into sales. So I was a sales consultant for a number of years, and then I graduated from that to a sales manager, where I had sales consultants underneath me. And then I went from there into leading a company. So when I led a company, I found out that I was pretty good at it, right? That I was able to take a company at whatever size it was and make growth and profits. So I did that from anywhere from a really small company. We started out at 800,000, grew that company to almost 6 million. And then I have taken companies from 9 million to 30 million. So, and it's just the way that you treat people and the policies and procedures that you put in place. And then I don't come up with all these great ideas, but what I do is when I hear one, I implement it and implement it well.
Yeah, implementation is so important, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, we need new ideas like we need a hole in our head. So implementation is that bridge. And, CEO Warrior prides itself on that when people come to the programs that you offer, that they walk out with a playbook or an implementation plan. Speak to that a little bit.
Well, the things that CEO Warrior has done, Mike and Rob has taken their business from, under $1 million, and they sold the business maybe 10, 13 years later, something like that. I'm not for sure for the dates, but they sold it at a $32 million company. So they have seen growth each time. They have taken that and put it into like playbooks or procedures. So this is like done for you. And all someone has to do is come on board, look at that, start implementing. They know it already works. So they don't have to reinvent something.
Yeah, the reinventing the wheel is a tough way to go. Speaking of reinventing the wheel, what would you say? Yeah. I mean, you work at 30 years.
Right.
You've got all this experience, thousands and thousands of clients, I imagine, that you've worked with under your guidance.
Sure.
Like, what do you see is the biggest mistake or mistakes that most service business owners are making in their businesses?
Sometimes it's like they think they know what they're doing and they really don't. That's probably one of the biggest. The other things that I see is people getting bored or just burn out, right? And they take this great business that they had, and then it's not fun anymore. And then all you start seeing is it declining, right?
Now, for that person who is hitting that roadblock, right? Whether they get bored or whether they get burnt out or whether they, get themselves in the way. Like with all the clients you've been working with, especially as of late, because things change quite a bit, right? What worked 3 years ago doesn't necessarily work today.
Correct.
Right? So with the today strategies, what would be 1 to 3 breakthrough strategies that you have seen, either that you've helped your clients put in place or your clients have told you they put in place, that for someone watching right now could make a difference in their business?
Know your numbers. That's one of the first ones. Know your numbers and know how to track things, right? So what you track is something that's going to get measured. What you get measured is going to have a great results.
Yep.
Or any kind of results is better than not knowing, right? So that's one thing. Have policies and procedures within your business, because if you have a business that, no matter what the business is, if you've got procedures in place that that works, try not to reinvent them. Just pass them along to new people that comes in with the business.
And when people put, they know their numbers or they put these kind of systems or procedures in place, Larry, like what kind of impact do you see? Like how has this impacted maybe some of the clients you've worked with directly as a coach and a master advisor?
Well, I've seen turnarounds, right? I've seen it where, they were struggling, and then all of a sudden, within that same year, the growth happens. Not just growth as in revenue, but the growth in profits that they got to keep themselves, So why be in business and take the risk if you're not going to get a reward?
Yeah, and tell us a story about a client or two that maybe you've worked with that have seen the kind of growth that you're talking about.
So there was a young couple that's in CEO Warrior, and by the way, they just became a centurion, so that's our highest level of coaching, and they came in about a year ago, and they had 0 customers, 0 people within their business. It was just husband and wife. So they started the business, started taking the policies and procedures that we gave them and showed them how to implement. Within the first year, they did $2 million.
Wow.
So, that's a pretty awesome story, right? From going from 0 to 2 million within the first year. And then what can they do the next year?
And speaking of what can they do the next year, someone that just heard that is likely, like, let's speak to the elephant in the room. That skeptical voice is going up right now, that red flag, right? So what would you say to someone that was skeptical? Oh, that sounds too good to be true, Larry. I appreciate that.
So what I would say to them is, let me introduce you to these people that I'm talking to. Let them tell you the same story that we've seen, and they can tell you from where they started at to where they're at now. That's one thing. Another thing it could be just we have so many stories like this. We've got a lady that's in our organization that her and her husband, when they came in the organization, they were doing a little around 2 million. Now it's almost 2.5 years later, and now they're over 7. And then this year they're looking to hit 10.
Wow. 5 times growth.
It is. It's awesome. And if they can do it, and we have another client over here can do it, and another client can do it, can't you?
And what do you attribute to that? Like what is the formula if someone wanted to kind of check that out or know more? Like what is the best recommendation that you could give them to be able to do that?
I think it's open mind. That they haven't been in business so long, or they say, I've tried it. It didn't work out so well for me. Let me try this other that somebody's telling me what to do and showing me how to do it that's been proven. And then once they've taken that, now they can, their business could be as high as the sky.
And you guys do these amazing events, right?
Yes.
And they're transformational. You do many of them through the year.
Right.
Right. And give us a context. Like if someone is thinking about attending an event, what would you tell somebody new?
I would tell them once they attended an event, at the end of it, it's going to be mind changing. Their whole life will change after this. And it's not just one thing or one thing that we gave them. It was the whole experience through the 4 days.
And then it also seems that, having your team a part of the event
Yes.
and the experience is pretty valuable. Right?
It is, because if you have your teammates there also, it's not you getting something, bringing it back, and you may implement it very well, but you may not, right? But if you have your teammates with you, or even your subordinates at the,
Yep.
the people that works for you, I mean, it's amazing what happens then when you go back, because everybody's on the same page, everybody's got that same vision, everybody's got that same mindset.
And speaking of mindset, like what is something that most people don't know about you?
Oh, wow. So a lot of people don't know that I served in the military. So that was something I was proud of. Still am, right?
Sure.
But I got
Thank
to
you
learn
for
a
your
lot.
service.
Well, thank you. So I learned a lot of things when I was in the military that's helped me out with business.
And what are 1 to 3 action steps that you hope someone would take as a result of our
Conversation.
conversation today?
If you're looking into CEO Warrior, just do it. Don't procrastinate anymore. Don't ponder on it. We've met people that has been following us for 3 years, and then they finally do it. And then after they do it, then they come back to us and say, if I would have did this 3 years ago, I would be so much further ahead in my business.
What would you say to somebody who is on the fence about CEO Warrior, and they were unsure, they were looking at it going, there's a cost, right? What advice would you give that person on the fence?
Talk to me. I can really help you. I could show you the difference between staying on the fence and going ahead and doing something different, and how your life will change, how your business will change, how your family will change.
And you've seen a lot because you've been part of a lot of organization. What makes CEO Warrior different than a lot of the other, support programs out there?
We really don't sugarcoat things. We really tell the truth, and whatever we see, we tell it like it is, right? And I've been a lot of organization that will pat somebody on the back for not doing something so well because they don't want to hurt their feelings. But does it really help them? It doesn't, does it?
No.
So we're not like that. We just tell you like it is. We want you to tell us what kind of challenges that you're having. Now we could fix that. But if you tell us something that's really not happening, we can't fix that, can we?
No. And what advice would you give your 35 to 40-year-old self about CEO Warrior and what to take advantage of?
If Denise and I had, that's my wife, if we would have had something like CEO Warrior when we started out a long time ago, we were in an affinity group at that time, but if we would have found this first, I don't know if I would have sold our business. I think maybe I would have just kept it a little bit longer and made it into an empire instead of something that we sold just to move, wealth building basically.
Awesome. Well, that's our edition of Warrior Wisdom, Profiles of Success with Larry Swafford. I want to encourage you to take action. Somewhere on the page here, there's a link for you to go deeper. If you're looking for a way to get more clarity in your business, if you're looking for a way to connect the dots, to see the blind spots, to get unstuck so that you can go out and grow and scale your business to the next level with less stress, hit the link below. You can schedule a no-cost strategy session with one of the master advisors, one of the team. They'll help you identify where you're at with your business, where you want to go, and give you a plan to be able to get there. So hit that link on the page. We'll see you on another edition of Warrior Wisdom, Profiles of Success.